What's going on, people? This is the Ravenous Blackbird, and you have tuned in to the Ravenous Blackbird YouTube channel. Long time go see. I'm still here, still around. I had to get me a new cell phone and had to take some time away from YouTube. I've been stocking up on food and stocking up on water and weapons and supplies because we see what is happening to America. So I wanted to stop in for a minute and I wanted to just have a quick talk with the so-called liberal people that voted, especially Christians, that voted far left. And I wanted to ask them a question that the question is, do you, at this point, regret voting for President Biden? Do you regret? And some of you won't admit it, but President Trump tried to warn you. He tried to tell you on Facebook, he tried to tell you on YouTube, and they kept trying to stop him. And then we've been trying to tell you. So how do you like the shape that America's in right now? What about the inflation? What about the border wall? What about Afghanistan? And I can go on and on and on. What about the murdering of billions of babies and so forth and so on? I didn't come on this video to bash President Biden. I love him and I'm praying for him. But as a Christian and a patriot and a soldier in the army of the Lord, I'm totally against the demonic agenda of socialism and everything, a lot of his executive orders and things. So I just wanted to come in. I didn't want to come on this video. It's been a while since I've recorded anything, and I had to take time away to get my mind together, to store water, food, weapons, and stuff like that. And I had to get me a brand new cell phone, so I'm on a brand new cell phone. Just got it about a month ago. It rocks. I love it. And now I'm back. And I feel this is just the appropriate time to start back to putting videos since I got some things in order. So I'm asking questions to the Christian liberals, because as a Christian, I can't vote for a party that's for killing babies, you know, approving same-sex marriage and homosexuality and all the things that, you know, is for lawlessness and sin and abomination. And some of you say it's okay. It's all right, and you can still say I'm a Christian. You could vote for God, and then you could vote against him and still say you're a Christian. So my question to you at this point, since you think that's okay, do you regret voting for President Biden? Now again, it's actually a rhetorical question. If I don't get any comments on this video, I'm cool with that, because you know good and well deep in your heart, you're not happy with how America is going and where it's headed. And we try to tell people that. But I got news for you. President Trump will be back in the White House. And it's going to be by way of our wonderful military. So I just thought that I'd drop in with some good news for the conservative, Republican, Trump supporters, the patriots, the soldiers. We know that's good news. Okay, but for the far liberal people who know good and well, especially Christians, that they should not have any business voting for a party that's for aborting babies and socialism and all of that other stuff that they're believing in, the lawlessness, the sin and the abomination, the border wall crisis, then this recent thing with Afghanistan, and then the blatant lie that you didn't think that nothing was going to happen right away. The Taliban wasn't going to act up when you pulled the troops out of Afghanistan. How can you, common sense to tell you that? I'm no president. I wouldn't want that job. I wouldn't want the weight of America on my shoulders. My heart and my prayers go out to President Joe Biden and President Trump and Kennedy and anybody else, because I wouldn't want that job. Heck, I don't even think I would want the job as a mayor or governor, let alone as a president. But when the president and the governors and the mayors are signing executive orders and mandate vaccines and going against people's religious freedom and so forth and so on, and saying it's all right to kill babies, it's all right to let the border wall go crazy, and they make excuses for it, then it's time for Christian conservatives, spirit-filled tongue-talking Christians, evangelical Christians, those of us that will not compromise the Bible, because many Christians have compromised the Bible, voting for the far left party, voting for the Biden administration. They have compromised Jesus. They have compromised their beliefs, if they ever really truly believe the Bible. And deep down inside your heart, so-called Christian liberals, you are not happy with America right now. You trying to block it out and make it seem like, oh, everything is all right. Just get the vaccine and we're going back to normal. We're going back to pre-pandemic days. We're never going back to pre-pandemic days. How idiotic can you be to think that with the inflation and the food shortages and the droughts out here in California and the wildfires and all this other stuff happening? And then with our President Trump coming back in office real soon, there's going to be a lot of chaos, protesting, looting. People are going to be highly upset over that. You asking me to give you a timeline? I am. Soon. It's actually right up under your nose that President Trump will be back in that White House. And the military is going to help him make it happen. And to let you know they have found things. And I'm trying not to spill out all the beans. But they found things. Things that were totally contrary in that 2020 election. Just as President Trump said. And it's getting ready to come out. So enjoy the time that you guys have right now for President Biden being in office. Because the way America is going right now, the direction. And again, I'm not saying this to bash him. I'm not making this video to even bash Christian liberals. Because at the end of the day, we're supposed to be an entire body of believers who are family. But the problem is the family and the body of Christ, Christians, are split. The church is split. Now you might as well say we have liberal churches and conservative churches because we're not on the same page scripturally and haven't been for years. And we're not on the same page in regards to not compromising the Bible. Because now you have Christian liberals that say it's all right to abort and kill babies and still say I'm a Christian. You have Christians that say it's all right for two men to marry, two women to marry. It's all right for a lesbian to become an ordained minister. And we laugh about it. And now we got football players coming out to box. And I'm not homophobic. But I'm a Jesus freak. I stand on the Bible. And I've been praying in regards to the NFL and all. I'm on the verge of having to give up watching football. Because I can't support the NFL when they're saying it's all right now for players to come out the box and say they're homosexual. What happens when the homosexual football players are in the locker room with the straight players? And they're taking off their clothes and their jocks and stuff. Think about that, people. Now it's okay for transgenders to go in the bathroom. Transgender men that are dressed like women to go in a female's bathroom. And that's acceptable and that's okay. So I can just dress up like a woman and go right in a woman's bathroom, and I could that's potential for rape, molestation, and a whole bunch of other stuff. I could pretend to be transgender just to go in a woman's bathroom. But this is what this administration and the far liberal party is approving. On top of let's legalize marijuana at a federal level. You know what that means? Let's keep America high so they don't know what's going on in the White House. All they're going to care about is the weed. All they're going to care about is buying their marijuana. Because it's legalized at a federal level. Now there's nothing they can do about it. Now the conservative party can't stop it. Let's pack the Supreme Court so that we have leverage. President Joe Biden. When President Trump asked you, were you going to pack the Supreme Court, and you wouldn't answer the question because you knew that's what you were going to do. So, Christian liberals, before I end this video, you ask yourself, and again, I welcome all comments. I don't care if you're black, white, I don't care if you're Christian, if you're Muslim, if you're Buddhist, I don't care if you're conservative or liberal, because this is just a rhetorical question to the Christian so-called liberals that say it's all right to vote for a party because the far left party is too far left now for me. I grew up Democrat. I grew up a far lefter. And all that ended around the time of Hillary Clinton. When I started finding out that she was funding and for Planned Parenthood and aborting babies, after President Clinton left office, that's when the Liberal Party started going downhill. And I got some more news for you. President Trump is not our worst president. Go back and look at Jimmy Carter. Go back and look at Reaganomics. Please, people. Please. You have a hatred towards righteousness. Christians have a hatred toward righteousness, toward the man that stood up for the church, Trump. The man that stood up for pro-life and pro-law enforcement and pro-military. And you hate what's right. And so now deep inside your heart, you know good and well you're not happy with what's going on in America. You know deep in your heart, if you got common sense, which we all do, that you knew when you voted for President Biden, all that's been happening ever since he got in office, I hadn't even mentioned President Putin pointing his little bony finger and President Putin, his face, accusing him of having something to do with the Russian hacking and then trying to hold him accountable. Now we're at the verge of having a war with Russia, and then he's pointing his bony finger in the face of the Prime Minister or President in China. We wouldn't have problems with China when Trump was in office. We weren't having problems with Russia when Trump was in office. We wasn't having problems with inflation when Trump was in office. We wasn't having problems with the border wall or Afghanistan and pulling the troops out suddenly without a plan when Trump was in office. And you know I'm telling the truth. So I want to leave that deep in your mind, Christian liberals. You should be ashamed of yourself for selling Jesus Christ out and compromising the word of God. This is the Ravenous Blackbird. Please leave comments. Click like, click dislike. Let me know your thoughts. And if I don't get any comments on this video, I know good and well some of y'all watched it and the point got across. This is the Ravenous Blackbird. Until next video, peace.